Alright, so this just came in the mail today. This is the package that they sent me for being a Chevy truck legend with my 98 Silverado. So, first of all, I just had to film this because this box is pretty cool. It's got all the emblems through the years. So, real old Chevy emblem here, Cheyenne, Silverado K5. I like the detail on that box. But anyhow, let's get this thing opened up and see what's inside. Alright, so this is what was in the box. And so they send a ball cap. And they send some of these decals here. And then it looks like they send increments of decals depending on how many miles your truck has on it. Which mine has over 300,000 miles. So these are the ones we'll put on, which is really neat. I'll probably end up registering the Duramax once we hit 100,000 miles, but for right now we got this, and that's pretty neat. Then they have decals here to show how many Chevy trucks you've owned throughout the years. Some numbers to put on here. That's pretty neat. And it looks like we also got some collector's cards. We'll open those up and see what's in there. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, so. Oh, this is really neat. Okay, so basically gives you the specs on certain trucks. That is really cool. That is really neat. And this looks like, okay, so that's his LTZ, and that's his LTZ 71. That's a 99. But that is really, really cool. Well, that is cool. Cameo. I'm loving that. So yeah, if you have a Chevy truck that's over 100,000 miles, go on to Chevy Truck Legends website and register your truck. You can type a little story about it. Mine's on there, and yeah, that is pretty cool. All right, so speaking of the Chevy Truck Legend, let's go out and see it and get this decal on. Truck Legends hat. Got the decal put on. We're good to go. And basically we're going to go over some of the flaws and some of the stuff that I intend to do to the truck. Like I said, I'm going to restore this truck little by little. So this truck was 100% stock when I bought it and when I sold it. So anything that you see aftermarket, the previous owner did to it. So first off, the guy had the torsion bars raised up in the front end, and he added a leaf spring in the back, so it does sit up a little bit higher than factory. It rides a little bit rougher, but it actually rides pretty good still. He put the Mickey Thompson wheels on it, and they were really pitted when I first picked it up. So I wet sanded all the wheels and polished them, and they do look a lot better. They are a little bit dirty right now, but the other thing is he took the chrome trim off of the wheel wells, which is a good idea actually, because it gives it a cleaner look and it prevents the moisture from getting trapped in that trim piece and causing it to rust. And that's one thing with this truck that I'm very proud of, is the fact that none of the wheel wells have any rust starting. So hopefully I can avoid that altogether, but we'll see. So obviously he added the tow mirrors and the smoked light housings up front. I replaced the grill in the front bumper because the bumper had a dent in it and the grill was really starting to peel. So I found a truck that had a nice grill and bumper and swapped it out and put on this truck. The one mount for the bumper is bent, so it doesn't line up quite right. But I'll get to it eventually and straighten it out. These are basically brand new tires on here. Toyo Open Countries, which I never had a set myself, but They're supposed to be really, really good tires, and so far they have been. So this side of the truck is very straight except for the dent in the door, and I'll get that popped out at some point. Otherwise, you know, some dings and dents and stuff, but overall the paint looks really good except for the hood and roof, of course. And I see it's starting to snow here. It is really cold. Yeah, we got some aftermarket taillights in there. And he also added the factory, well, I wouldn't call them factory, but he also added the mud flaps that are molded to fit in there. Which they don't quite look like they're made for this truck, actually, now that I look at them, but they look fine. There's a little bit of rust starting on the bottom of the tailgate there. This is the original rear bumper, so it was actually starting to rust right there when I had it, but it wasn't rusted through, so it's a little bit worse. And underneath it looks pretty clean. Might do some painting under here as well to just make it look nicer, but it really is clean. Everything's nice and solid. And I keep the spare tire up here in the bed because all they do is just corrode underneath the truck anyhow. Come on. This opened for me earlier. There we go. So this had a bed liner in it when I had it, and it looks like he kept it on the tailgate, but got rid of the bed liner and put a bed mat in there, which I actually like, because bed liners, stuff just gets trapped in there and can cause it to rust or whatever. So if I ever did a bed liner in here, of course it'd be a Line-X bed liner, because that's what it did in the Duramax. We'll actually go up here and look at the roof. As you can see, the clear coat's pretty bad, and this right here was actually there when I bought the truck. Someone just did a really quick patch job. It looks like someone probably had a beacon light mounted here for years, and it probably pulled paint off, and looks like they did a really bad touch-up job. I just never did anything with it. And previous owner added this clear lens here for the third brake light. Ugh. And this dent is actually really disturbing for me. I hope it can be popped out, because it's a few different spots that it's pushed in, and I'm not sure. It might be too complicated to pop out, but I hope not. You know, this trim piece can be replaced, but yeah, that's the really big eyesore on this truck. But it's the only dent on this side, so there's really only two dents on this truck, you know, that really stand out. So the only other thing is this cab corner here, and when I had the truck, it was only a little hole right here, and of course, as you can see, it got a lot worse since I owned it. But there again, that's something else that I'm going to be doing at some point. And the rocker panel has a hole right there, and they're starting along there. Yeah, so there again, it's something that I'm going to have to do at some point. So now let's go take a look at the inside of the truck. Alright, so of course I want to replace these lenses. They're both missing on both doors. I'm going to replace them. And overall, the interior is in really good shape yet. There's a little bit more wear on the seat here than when I had it, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. I didn't get a chance to clean the interior yet. It's so it's still really dirty, but aside from that, now you all are probably wondering, why is there a blanket on your dash? Well, that's why. All right, the dash is really bad shape. Let me shut the door here. The guy had the dash apart to replace lights in the cluster and everything, so it's expected, but it is very bad. So they actually make a cover lay to put over these dashes, so that's probably what I'm going to end up trying to do, because it is pretty complicated to remove the dashes in these trucks and replace them. So plus, not to mention, it would be really expensive probably. So for like $150 I can get a cover lay that's supposed to closely match this. So the other thing that's different from when I had this truck is the aftermarket radio. And so far I like it. I never thought much of aftermarket radios, but having the Bluetooth capability and whatnot is pretty nice. And there's the microphone for the phone there. And I'm actually gonna start this thing up because it is freezing. So I'm gonna get the heat going here. And you know, for 322,000 miles, she still starts right up. So yeah, again, the interior is in pretty nice shape. The headliner's starting to drop a little bit, which is very common on these trucks. Up here, I just kind of push it back up. But again, eventually it's something I'll get taken care of, but it's not a big concern at the moment. The rust work is probably the first thing that I'm gonna worry about with this truck. You know, I want to get that rust stopped and get that taken care of. So basically, and when I get rust work done, I have rust panels welded in. I don't just have them patch it up because like with fiberglass and Bondo, that's just not the right way to do it. So it's more expensive, but when you cut all that rust out and weld in new panels, it's going to be as good as new, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And this truck is probably hardly ever going to see any salt or anything. I don't intend to drive it in the bad weather too much because, again, I want to restore this truck. So let's go ahead and take this thing on a drive. Yeah, I gotta turn this heat down. Whew. I am roasting in here. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but this has a Flowmaster 44 muffler on it. When I had the truck, it had a MagnaFlow, and that guy just cut it off and put a Flowmaster on. So I'm still not sure which one I prefer, the MagnaFlow or the Flowmaster, but this does sound really good. The Flowmaster has more of a tinny sound to it, but I kind of like it. Looks like we got to get some gas soon. She doesn't do too bad on mileage. She still gets about 12 to 13 miles per gallon city, so not bad at all. About the same as when I had it. I can't believe, for as many miles as this truck has, how well this thing runs. It still seems to run and drive pretty much the same as when I owned it. And every single time that I get in this truck, I'm always so excited to drive it. to tell while it's wet, but I think she looks a lot better. Now that is the sound of freedom. So this time of the year, that's typically what I try to do. Just get the truck rinsed down and get the worst of the stuff off. Really get up in the, the hard to reach areas, where mud or salt can stick. Like I said, this isn't going to see the salty roads, but the Duramax, as soon as we get some snow and everything, as soon as it's done, I make sure that I get to the quarter car wash and I rinse all that stuff out. All those hard to reach areas where the salt can sit and cause it to rust. And whenever we get a chance where it's a few nice days and it's a little bit warmer, then I'll go ahead and take a couple wash buckets, a brush, my own soap, and take it to the quarter car wash and give it a good wash. And then over the summertime I can do it at home, but this time of the year gotta have the water turned off or it'll freeze. So alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this upload. I really look forward to making more videos for you guys on this truck and the Duramax. Really take you guys along for the ride on, how I'm going to restore this truck. And, it's going to take some time and money, but we'll get there. And I really look forward to it. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Got another Truck Legends package. Guess we'll have to see what it is. Alright, so this is what we got in here. Very nice looking tin. I wonder what's in here. Okay, so there's some playing cards in this tin. Okay. Alright. Oh, now look at that. That's pretty. That is freaking sweet. Oh, man. Here, I thought I was done getting gifts from them. Well, that is so cool. Yep, so there you go. I just thought I'd show you guys, since it showed up on my doorstep. I was not expecting another package from them, so this is pretty cool.